14:20 on the 25th of March 2024 at the Port of Baltimore, USA. The massive container ship Dali was in its final stages of loading. On the bridge, a series of alarms suddenly rang, including an alarm related to the ship's energy management system. By 15:30, after rechecking the technical inspections, the chief officer informed the captain that the alarm was a fault. Everything was normal. Just after midnight, 05 on March 26, the final departure procedures were completed. The harbor pilots boarded the vessel, and standard checks were carried out: draft measurements, engine tests, tugboat coordination, and telegraph verification. 2 tugboats were positioned, one at the bow and one at the stern, to assist the Dali as it left the port. At 016, the pilot asked the captain, "Captain, is everything okay?" The captain replied, "Yes, everything is fine." As the ship prepared to weigh anchor, the conversations on the bridge were normal, even cheerful. By 1:25 a.m., the ship was moving in the Patapsco River Navigation Channel, 0.6 miles from Key Bridge. The circuit breaker supplying power to most of the ship's equipment and lighting system suddenly tripped, shutting down key systems, including the main engine cooling pumps and the steering gear pumps. With the cooling pumps offline, the main engine automatically shut down, cutting propulsion entirely. The Dali's massive propeller stopped turning. At this time, the ship was drifting towards Key Bridge at a land speed of 9 knots, and the rudder was stuck because the pumps lost power. Moments later, the crew managed to start the emergency generator, restoring limited power to the bridge. At 1:27 a.m., the senior pilot ordered an emergency anchor drop. The anchor fell, but it was far too late to counter the vessel's enormous momentum. A distress call was immediately sent to the Maryland Transportation Authority police, urging them to close the Key Bridge at once. 2 minutes later, the unpowered container ship Dali slammed into Pier 17 of the Key Bridge.
Yes, sir. Already starting to arrive over here at the FTA headquarters. R62 is around your location.
6 bridge spans collapsed in an instant. 6 construction workers who were performing overnight maintenance fell into the cold waters below and were killed. 1 survivor was rescued but seriously injured. These were the initial damages recorded immediately after the bridge collapsed. Emergency response was immediate and massive. Nearly 1,500 rescue personnel and 500 specialists from around the world mobilized a fleet to clear an estimated 50,000 tons of debris from the river. The incident had a major and long-term impact on the economy and supply chain. The Port of Baltimore, one of the busiest on the U.S. East Coast, was brought to a standstill. More than 40 ships, including cargo and cruise vessels, were stranded for nearly 3 months. Experts estimated daily economic losses of around $15 million due to the port's shutdown. Most critically, the Key Bridge was a vital link along the Baltimore-Washington corridor. Rebuilding the nearly 3-kilometer-long bridge will be a complex and costly project, expected to reach $2 billion. This is not the only time giant ships have collapsed bridges. Many other countries have witnessed similar incidents. In the early morning hours of the 22nd of February 2024, a domestic cargo vessel lost control and slammed into a bridge pier of the Lixinsha Bridge in Guangzhou Province, China. The collision caused a section of the bridge to collapse into the Pearl River, dragging many vehicles and people into the water. Among them were a public bus, 3 private cars, 5 people missing, 2 injured, and the main water supply line serving over 10,000 residents on a nearby island was completely cut off. These were the damages confirmed by local authorities. The incident has since raised serious questions about the structural integrity of bridges and the protective measures in place to shield them from the immense steel giants that navigate the nation's busy waterways. In Vietnam, the Gan Bridge, a vital transportation link in Dong Nai province, also collapsed after being hit by a cargo barge. The incident occurred around noon, a time when the bridge was crowded with commuters. As a result, many vehicles and people plunged into the river below, with several reported missing. This is a bridge over 100 years old, was a combined road and railway structure, serving as a crucial passage for both trains and vehicles. The bridge collapse completely paralyzed the railway line across this bridge. In Indonesia, the general cargo ship LELI, operated by COSCO Shipping, crashed into a trestle bridge in the city of Palembang, causing 2 spans of the bridge to collapse completely. A similar incident also occurred in Ecuador, where a fish carrier vessel collapsed an approach bridge while trying to enter a floating dock of the naval shipyard in the city of Guayaquil. In the state of Oklahoma, a 580-foot section of the I-40 bridge collapsed into the river after being struck by a cargo barge, dragging multiple cars and tractor trailers down into the water. Back in Indonesia, coal barges have long been a source of trouble along the nation's crowded waterways. On the 13th of August 2024, one such barge brought down the P6 bridge in Lalon district, South Sumatra province. 4 out of 5 people who fell into the river during the collapse were reported missing. The tugboat captain was later arrested and now faces up to 10 years in prison for reckless navigation that led to the disaster. In Bangladesh, a bridge span collapsed and crushed a sand carrier vessel after it was hit by the ship itself.
Meu Deus do céu.
Anyway, each bridge once stood as a symbol of connection and progress, but in an instant, it became a symbol of how vulnerable our modern world truly is. The series of incidents across different countries also raises a critical question. How can we better protect bridges along the world's busy maritime routes from the massive steel giants that pass beneath them every day? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We've got more wild water action coming your way soon, so stay tuned. Catch you in the next one. Bye!
Aqui, olha, eu quebrando a ponte aqui, o rebocador. Caraca! Eita caraca, filha da mãe! Arrancou com tudo, olha.